Welcome back. We're glad you've joined us for this special edition of the Angus Report. I'm Crystal Albers. With me today are Kurt Pate and Ron Gill, experts in Stockmanship and Stewardship programs as part of the Checkoff-funded BQA program. Part of this I wanted to discuss was how the Stockmanship and Stewardship program pertains to the long-term sustainability of the beef cattle business.
I call it the big picture of why we really have cattle. And to me, grazing animals help to create balance in the western United States, or all over the world. So when cattle graze, they improve the environment if they graze properly. So really we need cattle. Being we don't have buffalo herds and deer herds or elk herds that are so huge, we can replace that with cattle if we do it properly. And then we also have a huge abundance of feed in the Midwest that we have to do something with that. And so our grazing animals are a great way to turn the corn and the grains into a source of protein as well.
I think it's interesting, we've not really touched on the fact that the stockmanship can also improve grazing distribution and rangeland restoration and better utilization of forages. So it's a component in managing the grazing and improvement of our resources.
Well, and that's a real consideration today given the fact that the public perception that's out there.
Stockmanship and stewardship, to me, is the big package. Everything the consumer wants, everything that the environmental advocates want, we can achieve with stockmanship and stewardship. And we need to take some of the old practices that have been around for hundreds of years or thousands of years, add them with the new technology we have, and now we're getting somewhere.
What's one thing that a producer can implement today that would help improve their effective cattle handling?
Main thing we both agree on is to change your mindset. And we think in physical things we do, but if they don't start accepting the fact that they can do things better, I don't care how good you are, if you're not striving to be better, I think you're leaving something on the table. You don't want to complicate it too much, but you want to improve your skills. And to me, one of the best places you can see a specific benefit is in that quality of life. One of the most rewarding things I ever hear from people that have been to our programs, that working cattle with my family is now fun.
Kurt, something someone can implement today?
The first thing you do is you have to understand that you might change some things. And that doesn't mean you've done wrong in the past, that we're just going to learn new and better ways to do things. Until you can decide that you want to change and improve and learn. This is a skill. It's not just something that you can walk out and do. It's a skill. And anytime you're working with a skill, you have to learn the parts separately and then put them together to make that skill work. And I think that's what we have to do.
Some people think you have to be perfect at this to do it. You have to be willing to try. I think that's the first step, is having that willingness to try to get better. Like I said, there's a lot of things we currently do that we can improve on, myself included, so we always try to get better.
And of course, a good place to start is to visit bqa.org and see where some of these stockmanship and stewardship clinics are taking place, because they happen across the country.
Yeah, and when people come, it's not like we're going to sit down there and tell them what they're doing wrong and what to do. All we're doing is throwing ideas out there, and sometimes our demonstrations work real good, and sometimes people can say, that's what we don't want to do at home. So when you're working with live animals, you never really know what's going to happen. The only thing you do know, or that you can control, is how you react to what happens. And that's a big part of stockmanship, is being able to control your emotions, so when things do go wrong, you don't lose it. You can step back, regroup, and start over again.
And of course, you can learn more about Kurt Pate and Ron Gill and the Stockmanship and Stewardship program by visiting bqa.org. There's also information on where they'll be conducting some of these cattle handling workshops in the coming months. Kurt and Ron, we're really glad you guys could join us today, and we encourage anyone to visit the website for more information. For the Angus Report, I'm Crystal Albers. We'll see you next week.
This program is brought to you by your Beef Checkoff funded Beef Quality Assurance Program. To learn more about your Beef Checkoff program, visit mybeefcheckoff.com. To learn more about cattle handling and care, visit bqa.org.